chapter 13 of the Science of Breath, how to acquire the Yogi complete breath. No, this isn't right. That's chapter 8. Hold on. Okay, so here's chapter 10 of the scientific science of breath, vibration and yogi rhythmic breathing. All is in vibration. From the tiniest atom to the greatest sun, everything is in a state of vibration. There is nothing in absolute rest in nature. A single atom deprived of vibration would wreck the universe. In insistent vibration, the universal work is performed. Matter is being constantly played upon by energy, and countless forms and numberless varieties result. And yet even the forms and varieties are not permanent. They begin to change the moment they are created, and from them are born innumerable forms, which in turn change and give rise to newer forms, and so on, an infinite succession. Nothing is permanent in the world of forms, and yet the great reality is unchangeable. Forms are but appearances. They come, they go, but the reality is eternal and unchangeable. The atoms of the human body are in constant vibration. Unceasing changes are occurring. In a few months, there is almost a complete change in the matter composing the body, and scarcely a single atom now composing your body will be found in it a few months hence. Vibration, constant vibration, change, constant change. In all vibration is to be found a certain rhythm. Rhythm pervades the universe. The swing of the planets around the sun, the rise and fall of the sea, the beating of the heart, the ebb and flow of the tide, all follow rhythmic laws. The rays of the sun reach us, the rain descends upon us, in obedience to the same law. All growth is but an exhibition of this law. All motion is a manifestation of the law of rhythm. Our bodies are as much subject to rhythmic law as is the planet in its revolution around the sun. Much of the esoteric side of the yogi science of breath is based upon this principle, this known principle of nature. By falling in with the rhythm of the body, the yogi manages to absorb a great amount of prana, which he disposes of to bring about results desired by him. We will speak of this at a greater length later on. The body which you occupy is like a small inlet running into the land from the sea. Although apparently subject to only its own laws, it is really subject to the ebb and flow of the tides of the ocean. The great sea of life is swelling and receding, rising and falling, and we are responding to its vibrations and rhythm. In a normal condition, we receive the vibration and rhythm of the great ocean of life and respond to it. But at times, the mouth of the inlet seems choked up with debris, and we fail to receive the impulse from Mother Ocean and in harmony manifest within us. You have heard how a note on a violin, if sounded repeatedly and in rhythm, will start into motion vibrations, which will in time destroy a bridge. The same result is true when a regiment of soldiers crosses a bridge, the order being always given to break down on such an occasion, lest the vibration bring down both bridge and regiment. These manifestations of the effect of rhythmic motion will give you an idea of the effect on the body of rhythmic breathing. The whole system catches the vibration and becomes in harmony with the will, which causes the rhythmic motion of the lungs, and while in such complete harmony, will respond readily to the orders from the will. With the body thus attuned, the yogi finds no difficulty in increasing the circulation in any part of the body by an order from the will, and in the same way he can direct an increased current of nerve force to any part or organ, strengthening and stimulating it. In the same way, the yogi, by rhythmic breathing, catches the swing, as it were, and is able to absorb and greatly and control a greatly increased amount of prana, which is then at the disposal of his will. He can and does use it as a vehicle for sending forth thoughts to others and for attracting to him all those whose thoughts are keyed in the same vibration. The phenomena of telepathy, thought transference, mental healing, mesmerism, etc., which subjects are creating such an interest in Western world at the present time, but which we have known to the yogis for centuries, can be greatly increased and augmented if the person sending forth the thoughts will do so after rhythmic breathing. Rhythmic breathing will increase the value of mental healing, magnetic healing, etc., several 100%. In rhythmic breathing, the main thing to be acquired is the mental idea of rhythm. To those who know anything of music, the idea of measured counting is familiar. To others, the rhythmic step of the soldier, left, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, will convey the idea. The yogi bases his rhythmic time upon a unit corresponding with the beat of his heart. The heartbeat varies in different persons, but the heartbeat unit of each person is the proper rhythmic standard for that particular individual in his rhythmic breathing. Ascertain your normal heartbeat by placing your fingers over your pulse and then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 until the rhythm becomes firmly fixed in your mind. A little practice will fix the rhythm so that you will be able to easily reproduce it. The beginner usually inhales in about 6 pulse units, but he will be able to greatly increase this by practice. The yogi rule for rhythmic breathing is that the units of inhalation and exhalation should be the same, while the units for retention and between breaths should be 1/2 the number of those of inhalation and exhalation. The following exercise in rhythmic breathing should be thoroughly mastered, as it forms the basis of numerous other exercises, to which reference will be made later. Sit erect in an easy posture, being sure to hold the chest, neck, and head as nearly in a straight line as possible, with the shoulders slightly thrown back and hands resting easily on the lap. In this position, the weight of the body is largely supported by the ribs, and the position may be easily maintained. The yogi has found that one cannot get the best effect of rhythmic breathing with the chest drawn in and the abdomen protruding. Inhale slowly a complete breath, counting 6 pulse units. Retain, counting 3 pulse units. Exhale slowly through the nostril, counting 6 pulse units. Count 3 pulse beats between breaths. Repeat a number of times, but avoid fatiguing yourself at the start. When you're ready to close the exercise, practice cleansing breath, which will rest you and cleanse the lungs. After a little practice, you will be able to increase the duration of inhalation and exhalation until about 15 pulse units are consumed. In this exercise, remember that the units for retention and between breaths is 1/2 the units for inhalation and exhalation. Do not overdo yourself in your effort to increase the duration of your breath, but pay as much attention as possible to acquiring the rhythm, as that is more important than the length of the breath. Practice and try until you get the measured swing of the movement and until you can almost feel the rhythm of the vibratory motion throughout your whole body. It will require a little practice and perseverance, but your pleasure at your improvement will make the task an easy one. The yogi is a most patient and persevering man, and his great attainments are due largely to the possession of those qualities. I'll pause here today. We can just. Oh, let's see. Oh my God, it's so interesting that we just read about this, because on Saturday night, Eric and I were sitting outside at our really good friend Janelle's house. And it's becoming a full moon. So it was a pretty bulky moon up there in the sky. And she has this gorgeous backyard out east. And we're just sitting there enjoying the peace and quiet, looking at the moon. And Eric, who has just like the most random information in his head, said something about like, we always see the same side of the moon. And so I guess I probably have heard this before, but it never really like clicked to me. So my friend Janelle was like really interested in this, and she's like, what do you mean? And so we spent like an hour talking about, it's called tidal lockdown. I don't know if you guys know about this, and I'm just gonna bore you, but
no, I actually am so interested. I never heard this.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world, we are always, all of us, every human is seeing the same side of the moon. It literally is a dark side of the moon. We have never seen the other side of the moon unless it's been by like a drone picture or some sort of space object picture, a satellite picture. So it has to do with the ocean, obviously, like, and it's called tidal lockdown. So you can read more about it if it's something that interests you. But it's all, and here we're reading this rhythmic breathing and how literally everything is tied to the ocean. And I'm like, maybe that's why I just love being near it so much.
Oh my God, I love the ocean.
It's like a good reset for me, always.
Especially, I think, well, I'm not so good at the full moon, but I know this one's in Pisces and that's a water sign or something.
Yeah,
so
I know all
resetting, yeah, resetting by the water is like a practice that you can do.
Nice.
It's like almost like, you know how we reset the season,
Yeah,
what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Sometimes like you can reset during these like full moons. It's like starts of the month.
Yeah, once like people are like, oh, you're into that stuff, but like once you, I think because
it's just science. Yeah.
I'm like, once you realize like the rhythm, the cycles of the seasons, of the day, of the moon.
Yes, that's how I describe it too. I'm like, our calendar is like based on that, you know, what we dedicate every day on.
Yeah. And like that's what I love about Ayurveda, because they just putting it in non-crazy like they're just like putting it in like real formal science terms. Like what Ayurveda teaches is exactly what we are trying to do through like seasons and zodiac signs and all that. But it doesn't make it as like, I don't know what the right word is.
It doesn't always resonate with people because it seems like out there.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's funny. I just think it's like even the time, like I think that's why zodiac signs are so funny. I'm always like, what are you? Because I think so many people resonate with what is like described about your zodiac sign, just because it's not so much the zodiac sign. It's really just about about the time of year you were born.
Yeah, it's so true. I get a little nervous with that sometimes too, though, because I'm like, I don't want to know my future, because then I start like planning with it, you know?
Yeah, no, that's true. No, I'm not, yeah, I don't like read my horoscope as much, but it's more like, is it a glance? It's like,
yeah, sometimes it's just vague. Like, so mostly it is vague.
Yeah.
It's how you interpret it, but I don't know.
Yeah, is it like predicting your future, or is it allowing you to manifest what you want, type of thing?
Exactly. You said it perfectly.
Oh, I just think that's so funny with the rhythmic breathing and the ocean today.
I also found so interesting was that the healing for your like mental health was like, it said it was like several hundred times.
Yeah.
And I always say that to my students. I always say, like we always say, when you show up, you're doing yoga. Like every day, part of your day, you're doing yoga. If you're walking, you're doing yoga. But it's like the breath too. It's like that is like, just sit and breathe here, and you're practicing with me and everyone,
Yeah.
in union.
Yeah.
So yesterday, I was watching this video and I'm so annoyed that I lost it on YouTube and I saved it and I don't know what account I saved it on there, but I, I gotta find it. And he was talking about the rhythm and he touched on the women's rhythm, like how each cell has its own rhythm, how each organ has its own rhythm, and how disease, and like that's the science behind Reiki, how Reiki helps each, like when there's something going on with the body, that part of the body gets thrown off its rhythm, and that helps it. Reiki helps, like, or energy healing helps bring it back, and so does yoga. And then he went into the breath, and the way he explained it, I was like, oh, I need to write this down because I don't remember anything ever.
Yeah.
But he talked about how yogis have the ability, like if you walk past someone and they're angry, right? Or someone starts yelling, they pull you, and you could be like in like having a really happy, great day, and they pull you into their vibration and throw you off.
Mm.
But as yogis, because of our practice, a lot of times we have the ability to just pull away just by pulling into our breath.
Yeah.
But the way he explained it was so awesome. Like you can explain it to like anyone. He used music, like he used amazing ways of explaining it.
Well, if you find it, share it.
Yeah,
I want to, because I didn't even get to finish it.
it's so funny you say that. I'm getting my first Reiki treatment today, and I'm so scared, but it's my friend just doing it. So I'm like, I don't need to be afraid. Like, I'm so afraid what will show up, I guess.
Just stay with it.
Okay.
Reiki is amazing. I mean, as long as you're using, you know who you're using, like the person is a clean channeler.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it could be like I've had sessions where I'm so relaxed and I'm like in La La Land. I've had sessions where they're hard and stuff comes up and I cry. I had a specific session, like we practice, like on each other. And my feet were so cold. It hurt. Like my toes felt like they were gonna fall off. And if I was new, like if it was one of my first few sessions, I would have jumped off the table and ran and be like, people, you guys are crazy, don't touch me.
Yeah, but you sit with it, right? So you can go through it.
Like whatever is releasing, it's just moving stuff out. So enjoy your session.
Thank you.
But yeah, I found the way he talked about the breath, and I'm like, that's so awesome, because I'm all about breath work.
Yeah, it's a good way to reset in any moment. Like if you get, for me at work, it's like you get a frustrating email or something. It's like just really taking a deep breath or creating that rhythmic breath for a few cycles is extremely helpful for me. It allows me to choose my action rather than just react all day long. It's like an all day long thing. We have this amazing tool. And I think the other important part of what we read today was this idea about vibrations. Like, and we know this, we know everything he just wrote today about vibrations and how important it is, how we spend our energy and time and who we're spending it with and what we're doing. Because I'm reading a book and she has a Polaroid camera, and so I was like, oh my god, I forgot about Polaroid cameras. Like when you take the picture and it just automatically like prints out of the camera, and I'm like, how did they have that technology? Like how did they know how to do that? That, like, the Polaroid camera is like a magical machine to me. But even like when I don't use fax machine, but like the idea of a fax machine where it's like you scan a piece of paper and then it arrives somewhere else and just prints out. And I was thinking about like this yesterday of like everything that's just like floating near us, like the emails, like there's just so much information floating that we can't even see, because it's just like there's got to be like vibrations just going everywhere about this information exchange out there, texts and social media posts. It's like, where is all that stuff? It's got to be somewhere.
And at the same time, all that amazing stuff that we like, it would be really hard to function without, is if we're not careful to cleanse and do what we need to do, it's dropping our vibrations,
Yeah.
doing a number on our body.
Yeah. Like being mindful how much of this technology is near you all day long. Like every room in my house has something. This is the computer, printer, then they got the TVs over there. And it's just like, that's why being outside without your cell phone is like magical. I think that's why another main reason why I love being at the beach, because even when I go for a walk, I always have to bring my phone, because if I don't map it, it doesn't count. And sometimes I have my headphones in. So there are times where I was like, absolutely not. Like I cannot have any more technology on me, and I cannot have my headphones anywhere near me. And I just need to like unload everything. It needs to be like major reset. That's how last night was.
You have the ocean has its own, like the sound of the ocean is so healing. And then you have the salt is so healing and so protective.
And just like having the sand on your feet, and even the birds, and just hearing other people's joy. Like, I mean, I know some people go to the beach and like cry and stuff, but usually it's just like nothing else matters when you're at the beach. It's just like pure joy. Although I guess if you're a mom of a young kid running on it, it's probably a different story.
So here's the thing about that. When my kids were little, like we went to the beach yesterday and Katrin was getting a little sniffly, and I was like, you're swimming, right? I swam, she swam, and she felt better right away. And I really believe there's a saying, and I don't know what language it is, like that the ocean takes it all away. I don't know what the saying is, but when my kids were little, I used to go to the beach, and you think I'm going camping. I would have an umbrella across my back and a tent across my back and a baby hanging in the front and a huge cooler on one side, and then whatever, like madness, right? As much as I could carry in one shot, because I can't go back and forth. And I would stay there all day. And moms from my neighborhood would make comments like, oh, it's too much work. Oh, you're so crazy. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I get there and it's heaven. The kids are so chill. No one argues. No one fights.
Yeah.
And I only clean my kitchen one time. Like I pack breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I come home, wash the kids, get them to bed. They're pooped and all relaxed. Clean the cooler and do it again the next day.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's like, it's so relaxing. And they get to plant with the sand, which is super, super calming.
Yeah. Yeah, and now they have beach wagons for parents, so you can just throw everything in a beach wagon and wheel it down.
Those things are too much to drag for me. I'd rather.
You have to get a good one. You have to get one with good wheels. Erica spent hours researching them, so.
Well, now my kids can carry their own stuff.
Yeah. It is a lot of work, and I know, like some people don't like sand. I'm like, whatever.
But yeah, it's so worth it because they're the.
Oh, you muted yourself. All right, well, we can move on to breath work and do our meditation. So we'll sit up nice and tall. And if you want to play with that rhythmic breath today, or play with taking your pulse and start practicing that, that's an option for you. Playing with retaining the breath too. This book recommended inhaling and exhaling for 6 and retaining for 3. So if you're retaining the breath and this is new to you, be mindful of that fatigue he was talking about. And if you feel like you're starting to get dizzy, don't do it. Especially for me at the bottom of the exhale, when my breath is empty, my body is empty, retaining the breath there can feel scary. So just be mindful as you practice that, if you want to practice that retention. And like anything else with practice, it gets, I don't want to say easier or better, but maybe it gets less scary. So we'll just take a few breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. We always start here, just creating that rhythm, but we just don't add the retention. So starting to breathe in and then out. And again, if you want to play with the retention, it's there for you. And check in with the body as you're doing this. Try to relax the features. And sometimes you have to clench something to release it. So if you have to lift the shoulders up and squeeze them against your ears and then roll them down, relax the jaw. If it feels okay to gently close the eyes or pick a soft gaze out in front of you. Relax the face. We'll move into alternate nostril breathing if that serves you. If you want to stay where you are and sort of slide into your meditation, you can always mute me and set your own timer if you are focused. This rhythmic breathing is a very helpful tool for me while I'm meditating. Most of the time, my breath is if I'm not listening to some sort of chant, my breath is my main tool, where I just have to keep watching my breath and creating this rhythm. So if you want to move on to alternate nostril, you'll bring your right hand to the face, close the right nostril with the thumb, inhale through the left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. A few more rounds on your own breath. When you feel done, you'll exhale out the left side. If you're not already there, I'm going to set the timer and you'll join us when you're ready. bringing hands together in front of your heart. Namaste. Have a beautiful day, everybody.
Thank you, Pam.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too.